Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel today. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, we'll be cutting and stitching this cowl neckline dress that you can see on your screen. So I already have a pattern paper with my upper bodice measurement on it, so I'll quickly run you guys through all the points that I have on this pattern paper. So the distance from my shoulder to my bust point is 10 inches, and the distance from my shoulder to my waist point is 16 inches. I indicated the point and I ruled a straight line across the points. On the shoulder line, I took half of my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches, and I came down by 1 inch from my shoulder slope. I slanted it to the neckline area. After doing that, on the bust line, I took my bust circumference divided by 4 and I added 1.5 inches as my stitching allowance. On the waistline, I placed my waist circumference divided by 4. I also added 1.5 inches as my stitching allowance. On the armhole area, I came in by half an inch and I connected just like this. That is for my front armhole. The one that I've already cut out is for the back. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead and take my neckline measurements. So for the depth, I'll be taking 1 inch. For the width, I'll be taking 3 inches. Go ahead and connect the 2 dots like this using my ruler. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the neckline. So I'll be using this stretchy crepe fabric. I'll be using 2 yards of it. I went ahead to fold my fabric into 2. I'm going to place my pattern paper on my fabric like this. So on the folded area, which is my center back. So in case you're not using a stretchy fabric, go ahead and leave your zipper allowance of 1.5 inches before placing your pattern paper. I'm not going to add zipper to this dress because my fabric is stretchy. I'll go ahead and trace out the neckline, the shoulder line, the armhole and the sides. So this is a dress, right? And the distance from my shoulder to my waist point is 16 inches. You can see that I indicated that with a line. So what I'm going to do is to mark the distance from my waist to my hip, which is 8 inches. So I'm going to place my tape on my waistline and I'm going to mark 8 inches. So go ahead and measure the distance from your waist to your hip, okay? Mine is 8 inches. I'm going to indicate the 8 inches like this and I'll rule a straight line across. So I have my hip line. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead and place my hip circumference divided by 4 on this hip line, and I'm going to add my stitching allowance of 1.5 inches just like I did for the upper bodice, okay? So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and use my curved ruler to connect from the waist point to meet the hip point, just like you see me doing, okay? So don't forget to add your zipper allowance. In case you're adding a zipper to your dress, don't forget to do that before you place your pattern paper. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead and connect from the hip to meet my dress length. So before I forget, the length of my dress is 56 inches. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead and cut. So after cutting, I'm going to remove my pattern paper, and this is what we have. You can see that the center back is on fold, or if you added zipper allowance, go ahead and split the center back into 2, okay? So we're going to go ahead and cut the front. For the front, I'm going to go ahead and trim out this front armhole, and then I'm going to slant from my bust point to meet my armhole area. So just look at how I'm placing my ruler from this chest line, from my bust point. I'm going to slant like this to meet the armhole area, and then I'll go ahead and slash through. I'm not going to cut it out completely because I want to like open up this pattern paper. So the more you open the chest area of this pattern paper, the more your cowl neckline is going to fall. So I'm going to go ahead and place this pattern paper on my fabric. I'll fold my fabric into 2 just like I did for the back, and then I'm going to place my pattern paper on the fabric. Okay, so I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two. I'll go ahead and place my pattern paper on my fabric like this, and then I'm going to pin the center front just like you see me doing. After doing that, I'm going to open up this area. So I'm just going to open mine by 10 inches, and that's because I don't want my chest area to be too open. So if you want to achieve what you can see on the thumbnail, you can go ahead and open yours up very well, but I'm going to stop at 10 inches. I'll go ahead and pin my pattern paper down on the fabric so that it will not move. So the next thing I'll do is to mark my hip line just like we did for the back. The distance from my waist to my hip is 8 inches, so I'm going to place my tape on my waistline, which you can see it is visible. I'll mark 8 inches and I'll roll a straight line across that point. So this is my hip line. On the hip line, I'm going to mark my hip circumference divided by 4, and then I'll add my stitching allowance of 1.5 inches. After doing that, I'll use my curved ruler to connect from the waistline to meet the hip line just like you see me doing. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead and connect straight down to the dress length. So guys, for the cowl neckline area, I'm going to place my ruler like this and I'll rule a straight line to meet the neckline area. After doing that, I'll trace out my shoulder line. So you don't have to trace the neckline, just rule a straight line down and then trace the shoulder line, trace the armhole and trace out the side. Okay, so guys, after tracing out all the sides, I'll go ahead and cut. So like I said, you don't have to trace your neckline, but you can still trace it and then shape it later. Okay, that's what I did for mine. So I went ahead to cut everything out and this is what I have. So I'm going to remove my pattern paper. Like I said before, if you want your neckline to fall like what you can see on the thumbnail, make sure you open it up well. After cutting out, guys, this is what I have. So once you join the two shoulders together, the neckline is going to fall just like you can see. It's going to fall. So it depends on how you open it, that's how it's going to fall. I'll go ahead and cut out a facing for the front. So I'll fold my scrap fabric into two like this, and then I'm just going to cut out the neckline. For the back, I'll be using my bias tape to just pipe it. So and then for the front, I'll go ahead and just place the facing on it. I'll sew it and then I'll turn it to the right side. So after sewing your neckline in place, you're going to go ahead and join the shoulder for the back and shoulder for the front. You join them together. So after joining the shoulders together, you guys can see the cowl neckline effect is all coming together. Let's go ahead and cut out our sleeves. So I went ahead to fold my fabric into two equal halves, and the length of my sleeves is 25 inches. So what I'm going to do is to go inward like this by 3 inches, and then I'll go down by 6 inches. After doing that, I'll use my free hand to connect from this 3 inches to meet the 6 inches mark just like you see me doing. I'll place my round sleeves measurement divided by 2. I'll indicate that with a point, and then I'll go ahead and measure around the armhole area of the sleeves to be sure that what I have is enough to go around the armhole area of my dress. After doing that, on the base of the sleeves, I'll go ahead and place my round wrist measurement divided by 2. What I have is 7 inches. I'm going to divide it by 2 and then I'll add 1 inch to that measurement for stitching allowance. After doing that, I'll connect all these dots together and then I'll go ahead and cut. I'll also place this one on the other sleeves and then I'll go ahead and trace out. After doing that, I'm just going to join the shoulders of the top, attach my sleeves. If you're adding a zipper, you can also go ahead and sew in your zipper, pipe your neckline, hem your dress and your sleeves, and that is all for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Please don't forget to like this video, leave your questions in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.